Hey everybody, welcome to ConCast.
Well, that music came on, I was like, that note music is way more motivated than I am right now.
I know. I'm trying to get into the spirit, but nothing reminds you of middle age more than headbanging and going, "Ow, my spine, my spine."
As tired as we are from this weekend, you could have put some Inyo on, and I'd been like, "Yeah, let's do that."
Yeah, it was maybe a little bit of Michael Bolton action happening here.
So we only got to talk for a minute before this started up. How you doing? How you feeling?
I'm wore out, but we did really good this weekend, man.
Good.
We did. Considering the fact of the gale-force winds on Saturday that was destroying half the festival all day long, and then the sweltering heat and humidity on Sunday, we did as good as we did last year in the spring when the weather was perfect.
I actually thought, well, I guess I should say for those listening to the podcast first, hi, welcome to the podcast.
Hi.
Ash and I were both at Great Plains Ren Faire this weekend, and while we're there, there's about a half block area of the festival that is just us. Like, it's the pirate ship with the smoker, and in the middle is the winery, the Eads Winery. And this year we can put some tables out, and I think next year we're doing a beer garden kind of.
By the way, many people were very thankful that those tables were there. They were like, "Oh my God, thank you for having tables out there." And I said, "That's all, John."
Well, that's good. I think, well, as we were talking Friday when you came to help set up, I think I would like to maybe try putting things up to where we have a stage here and then the winery here and kind of V-shape it, and then like half of it's seating for the stage and half of it's beer garden, so people could come, sit down, get like a wine slushy from us, and then watch the show. That kind of stuff would be nice.
Now, speaking of wine slushy, because you and I were talking about the need for a generator that's quiet, what about the possibility of going with a battery generator? Instead of something that is, gas powered, something that is a battery bank that will power it. Do you think that would be a thought?
I've heard of some that work pretty good that you can charge up like that, but I don't have a lot of experience with the battery ones for anything big like a slushy. Like, I've used battery ones for like running a projector for a little bit.
I have seen some out there where people use them as emergency backup on their homes for like a day or so straight.
I've got stuff here where I was working on a system for the smoker, and I bought a whole bunch of stuff where it was going to be basically car batteries that can also charge solar. I got the solar panel and everything. I kept thinking, but all I wanted it for was sound for the hour we're doing the smoker. I don't think
that's doable. No, what we need to do is first we need to, choose out what slushy machine we're going to be utilizing, and then from there figure out the amperage and wattage that it utilizes, and then run the figures to see what kind of battery pack you need for that many amp hours and stuff like that.
Yeah, I think even seeing we should have went over to Wildwood and seen what they were running theirs off of. I didn't even think to do that.
Yeah.
Did you?
No, I didn't. You should ask Rich. I wouldn't be surprised if they ran power over to them, because they're close to the food court.
Yeah, they're and we could do that, but with us, I think it's just so much better having the winery right next to
the pirate stage. Yeah.
But hang on a second.
I would like it, as much as our tent fair can be, I would like it to be like at KCRF, where down in the pirate area they have the ship and the bar right next to it, and kind of conjoined seating there.
But real quick, am I looking for live chat or studio chat? I never get it right.
Live stream chat. I don't know
Live
if
stream.
anybody's on yet.
That's all right. And we skipped last week without even saying a word, so I could see it might take a little while for some folks to get on. That was because we were so tired getting ready for Fair,
Well,
which is something I'll address a little bit. But
let's make sure that okay, not there. I'm going to go over to the ConCast page and make sure we're up.
Yeah, but yeah, we're going to talk a little bit about Great Plains tonight. I know I want to talk about Minecraft, the movie, for sure.
Yeah, we're up.
The Supergirl promo that they released, and then just a brief thing about how you screwed me up last week. I told you about that.
Oh, dude, I'm so sorry about that.
Well, no, that's right. It was not a big deal, but I guess I could go ahead and say it is. I'm hearing feedback on there of me. Am I off sync or am I all right?
You seem fine. Catherine says hi.
Hi, Catherine.
Let me check and make sure that you have yours set up properly in the audio.
No, my deal last week, and then Mikey Mason was there this weekend too, and I got to talk to him about it and everybody else. But we were talking last week. I had binged Reacher, and I really enjoyed it. And Alan Richson, the guy that plays Reacher, my wife and I both really impressed with the guy. I did not realize all the things I'd seen him in before.
Mm-hmm.
Once you had said, that's the guy from Blue Mountain State. And I was like, oh, Blue Mountain State, I never watched that. It's just like another First and 10. It's going to be a bunch of just, drama, who's sleeping with who, blah, blah. And we watched it, and into that first episode when he eats the butt cheek Oreos. I mean, we're like, oh no, we've ruined Reacher now. It's Reacher's done. We'll never like that character again. And then by the third episode, I realized dude had comedy chops. So then we're loving it. And then I start looking, what else has he played? And he's played so many things. But I'm like a big Aquaman fan. I had no idea that was the guy that played Aquaman in Smallville. And he's there with the guy that played Cyborg in Smallville. And he also played Hawk in Titans TV show. So I'd seen him plenty of times, had no idea it was the dude. And he acts completely different.
I just found out today that the Skarsgård guy who played It.
Yeah.
All right. He was one of the male models from Zoolander who burned up in the gas station fire.
Was he?
Yeah.
I can look at that too now, dang it. Because even, Alan that plays Reacher in Blue Mountain State, I mean, he was fit. I wouldn't have messed with the guy, but
yeah.
Then he gets to Reacher and he's like, he's like Rob Liefeld drew him for Captain America or something. He's just big and nasty. And
but without the suit.
Without the suit, yes. Yeah. So I
hear that he was so nervous when he went out to audition for Reacher. He really, 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 really wanted the part. But, he knew that the director...
all of a sudden, Chad just showed up here.
Yeah, it just popped up hard.
That's weird.
He knew that the director and the author were going for somebody to be as much like Reacher as possible. And the description of Reacher from the books is he's 6'8". And so here he is at 6'4", and he's worried that he's too short to play Reacher. All right. So when he went to go audition, all right, as buff and as big and as good as he was so nervous. He had on a lapel mic, and his heart was going so hard the lapel mic was picking it up. And they were like, do you hear something? And he's like, and just threw the lapel mic. He's like, no, I don't hear nothing. And went ahead and did his stuff and got the part.
I hadn't heard that. I want to touch on it, but real quick, Buddy says, sup? Hey, buddy, looks like you guys had a good weekend at your fair this weekend, too. And Jake's on, too. Says, love scrolling through. There you go. Love scrolling through and finding nerd friends. And hi, Jake. Jake, a lot of people asked about you guys this weekend. And I said, we'll get them back sometime soon in the future, but I want to reach out and try to get, I'd love to give you guys the spot that Blades used to have there. That would be fucking awesome. And Rich is up for that, and I know we've talked about that. And But I want to get some other people like Body Buccaneers down there to do a show with us. And as much as I can keep getting money for the smoker and hiring my one act every year or every 6 months, I'd be
Well, that
really.
reminds me. The winery owes the smoker $20 because we had 4 people pay for the smoker utilizing our point of sale. So
Yeah,
that was $20.
I appreciate that. Yeah,
No
we're
problem.
looking. I guess I shouldn't say smoker there. It's Pirate Power Hour, but
Oh
we'll
yeah.
hit that when we talk about all of the fair here in a few. But on the Reacher thing, I want to touch back because I did watch an interview where he was talking about Reacher, and I guess when they hired him, he was still just in like Blue Mountain State size. He was not all bulky. And well, I don't know why I'm doing this. You guys know what bulky is, and
Yeah. Hold on. You gotta do like
yeah,
that. Push it up.
I'll keep the sleeve on so nobody can see that it's not there.
Yeah. Have the sleeve so you don't see the part hanging down.
Yeah, the old man.
Something about losing weight. You have some excess here. They say you eventually look like your dogs. I should not have had a basset hound.
Oh God, I tell you, well, the old man thing was hitting me hard this weekend. But
Very hard.
this was one of those fairs where I realized I need to step back. Not so much like I'm old and can't handle anymore, because I'm one of those guys, and people have seen me or been with me at fair. I mean, I can usually run circles around most people around me, and I can work hard. However, I'm also used to that. Like, well, you just work hard. If you got to bring a bunch of, like, I always bring a bunch of extra shit, and if we need it, it's there. And man, after this fair, this was a oddly chaotic fair for me. The winery seems to be the best part. Like, it seemed to go pretty well.
We've got it down pretty smooth.
Yeah. I mean, you guys didn't need any help at all from me, and we came back with only sweet mead left. We sold out of everything else we had, which was great.
Yeah, and with God, I forget their names. The kids who helped. I say kids. I'm an old man. Corey and Patrick. With them helping out and just immediately pitching in. I mean, things went very smooth. They're great to have there. And
the crew you have working with you up there seems great.
Yeah, well-oiled, well-nippled machine. Thank you.
Yeah. That'd be my only complaint, I would say, if I were to have one, would be...
It gets tips. It brings the people in. I don't like it, but I am not there for the nipples. Apparently, some of the ladies are there for his nipples.
Well, when I saw his nipples was up there, he would be like, you'd see other people with like some of the other mead you can get at festival, and he'd be like, I see you got their mead. Ours is way better. Come on over here and get it. It's like, don't yell that halfway across the fair. You can say, I think ours is better, but don't like yell it across the fair while you're working for us. When you're off the clock, tell everybody that shit, though.
We were able to get some good tips for them. I mean, they made as good a tips now as I made working at a very good bar in the 90s. So that's not bad.
Tips is something I really felt this weekend too, because we had a bit of a hiccup. I love our local fair, but Rich always takes on more stuff than he can, and he has struggles with the schedule every year. And so this year, I've offered it before, but this year he snapped it up in a heartbeat when I said, "Hey, you screwed up the schedule this year, so I'm going to be writing a good chunk of the schedule for next fair." And I'm just doing it because we run it like this year. We ran into problems where Mikey Mason drove all the way from Indiana. And even though talking with Rich this week, and I know what it's like being the week of a festival, you're running on your own. So I do get how he missed that. But Mikey got there and had 0 stage times except for the Pirate Power Hour show. And Dustin says, somebody say nipples. Yeah, one of our bartenders at the winery there, he's got some nipples. That's all there is to it.
With my penchant for giving people nicknames, because I can never remember their real names, has decided that the one I gave him last year is the one he likes the best, and he wants to, from here on out, be known as David Tasselhoff, because he had on a set of tassels last year.
I like that. David Tasselhoff. I'll take it. Catherine says, was the girl in the sexy red dress there? That she was not, and if she was, she wasn't wearing a sexy red dress this time. But
there was a sexy redhead, but that was different.
Yeah, Well, see, I just bring my own sexy redhead, and then I'm good. I don't have to worry about it. See, I'm saying that so my wife will see it.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, it's like she's in earshot.
Yeah. No, she's bless her heart. She's downstairs making supper, so I can go down there and do that afterwards. Um, trying to look at what came in my feed. Sorry. Where was I? Well, we're jumping all over the place here.
We are, we are.
Um, so let's just hit first. We didn't do Geekgasm. We got to talk about Fair, which I think we can do in detail. So let's hit our other stuff, then we'll hit Fair at last because we get to spend the rest of the podcast talking about this weekend at Fair because there were definitely pros, cons. I got to watch Frankie get super drunk, and I got to get drunk one day, and then the next day I got to get almost sick on stage. So I'll tell all
Um,
that. But
my geekgasm, man, I was gone the week before to Chicago, so there was nothing really geeky I could do. Surrounded by coworkers, they're all not geek people; they're more sportsies. But yeah, I have been working on getting the latest Gambody ship that I'm working on, full 350 scale. This is the size of the one of the nacelles. Hold on, I'm working on the saucer section on one.
oh
Look,
yeah, I remember seeing Wild Wild West.
I'm an Elizabethan Trekkie. I am. Okay.
It looks like
Um,
those deals on Wild Wild West where
oh
the plate.
yeah, yeah. The Wild Wild West we don't speak of. Um,
I like that movie. I got issues with that movie, but I like that movie, man. Uh,
I mean, I like the fact that they did something. I just think it was. I don't know. Wild Wild West should not have been as tongue in cheek as they made it.
I did see that. I think at that time they were doing a lot of the tongue in cheek with those old reboots like that. Almost
Yeah.
like Maverick had a little more tongue in cheek into it, and I really like that. And like um, Wild Wild West would have been even before Dukes of Hazzard and them, I think.
But one thing, let me see. Buddy says, "Tell my
But
girlfriend hello for
I
me."
will. I was going to comment on that. I'll definitely tell her. Uh,
Sportsy seemed like a technical term. You mean Will Steampunk?
so I'll make a comment on Wild Wild West, which is a little off topic since it got brought up. For those that do steampunk events,
You brought it up. Okay, go ahead.
did I bring it up?
Yes, you did. I was going Elizabeth, then you went Wild Wild
Oh,
West.
yeah, with Wild Wild West because now Wild Wild West Con in uh, Arizona or New Mexico or whatever. Yeah,
Yeah.
we've done that event before, and unfortunately this year they closed down, and they closed down during the con. If you guys haven't seen the videos, I want to encourage you to go watch the videos. The problem with is in most of those videos, everybody's just going, "Well, I guess steampunk's dead," and I'm like, "Steampunk's definitely not dead." There's last year I think we had 8 new conventions pop up,
Mm-hmm.
but this one was named after Wild Wild West Con because originally it was at the location that Wild Wild West was filmed, and then they moved it to a hotel, and it just went downhill. And unfortunately, some of the videos out there are from the entertainment guests, like cosplayers they hired that were
Mm-hmm.
as they were showing up in gear to do the convention. They were told, "Go grab all your shit, leave. Everybody's getting kicked out." They were kicking vendors out during the con. So keep in mind
Mm.
these vendors that have already shown up, set up, and then you're
Paid their vendor fee.
and paid the fees. Like a lot of people don't realize vendors doing that. They invest so much money before they see a dime. They got to
Mm-hmm.
pack everything. They have stuff shipped to them. All like when we do Anime Fest at the Hyatt and stuff, we'll be collecting shipments from Amazon for vendors and stuff. They have shit shipped up there. They have to ship back. Sometimes they'll just buy their pop ups there or something. So they're putting a bunch of money into it, and they all had to pack up and leave. That totally destroyed that. I mean it makes
That
steampunk really bad.
puts
I can say it,
that
but
puts some negative on it, but saying
yeah,
steampunk is dead because of that is like saying, all comic book movies are dead because Batman had nipples in one. You
right,
know,
yeah. But that's the problem is people put it out there, and then other people when you're still trying to get people
traction.
interested in doing it,
Yeah.
you're like, well, I hear it's pretty much a dying genre, and it's like, no, it's just I don't know. I start seeing some of that segregation like you saw before, where like you can't have steampunk stuff at Anime Fest or whatever. It's Comic Con. Everything's just got to go to Comic Con. And now Comic Cons aren't about comics; they're all cons, and every other con says don't bring your shit here. I hate that. But
Yeah.
let's see. I'm trying to see what everybody said over here. John has sometimers, like all timers. Yeah.
Yeah.
Fire on the air. Steam. Oh, there's Joseph. Was that which Joseph? So Joseph came down and saw us this weekend, and nope, different. Oh, Joseph Crosco. Hey, different Joseph then. Sorry. Um, we had a great time this weekend though. Hang on. Oh, they haven't been to Big River then. Yeah, that's how I feel, because that gives Big River a hard time. Next year we're going to start doing our buddy Steve Amins Steampunk Festival down in Oklahoma. We were going to do it this year, but we were double booked already that weekend. Um, and I hate to see like these new people that are starting new events and then they get stepped on and shit on because some of the bigger events drop the ball. But um, just made just made hotel reservations for Hannibal. The hotels told me about the event. That's good.
That is good.
I'm really hoping that they're able to get us rooms down on the main strip this year, because it's so. Last year, Jen had a room down there, and we could like go shower in the middle of the day. You have
That's
no
awesome.
idea the ability to shower in the middle of the day at convention or at festival. It's so nice.
Well, one other geekgasm I wanted to bring up, and it was something that was just released, I think, yesterday or Monday, is that this is an AI thing, but it's that Gemini, which is the Google AI, they have a new text to video. All right, you put in your text and it outputs the video, and it'll do an 8-second video at full 1080p. All right.
Okay.
And if you have a Google Plus account, which I do, I got it with the phone. You can get up to 100 generations per month. And so I went on and I had some fun today, getting stuff ready. Um, Although I got to tell you, it's a little weird. I keep forgetting that I had given Gemini a personality, and then every time I type in something and it responds in that personality, I'm like, oh yeah, I told you to be Pepe, the King Prawn from the Muppets.
I was just going to say, I am so anxious to hear because I know how much you just hate people sometimes. What personality,
Oh,
like, that's one I can talk to every day.
well,
But
like here, I asked it a question. I was like, okay, how many generations do you get when they refresh on the whiskey portion of Evo? And it responded. This is how it answers to me. Ah, amigo, you're asking about the nitty gritty, the behind the scenes stuff. Pepe likes to focus on the arte, the creation, but for you, un amigo, I will try to figure out this whisk portion and these generations, okay? And that's the way it talks to me.
I love it.
What?
I love that. I
Yeah.
also love hearing anybody do Pepe, because we haven't got any new Pepe stuff in.
Oh, yeah. But
We
anyway,
find somebody
so
that did Pepe about 4 years ago. We haven't seen anything new from him in years.
So I started off with I asked Pepe to first create the prompt for me to hand off to Vivo to create the video. And I told it, I want a video of two older dudes after a Renaissance fair who are all wore out. They're both in their 50s and white. One is 6'2" with long blonde hair and full white beard, dressed in pirate costume. The second is wearing normal street clothes, 6 foot tall with bald head, wearing baseball cap, short full beard, wearing glasses. Both exhausted and looking at the camera while it pans over them. In the background, you see people tearing down pavilion tents that were used by the vendors. All right. So that's what I thought, and it came up with the stuff, and so then I fed it into Vivo, and let me get back over here, and I downloaded the video that it came out with, and let's see here.
Oh, look at that. My sister's on. Hi, Chels. Oh, holy shit. That guy's got a better beard than me.
And yeah,
I want his doublet.
but I did not give them anything but that prompt I told you right there. This is what it came out with.
Huh.
You see the people in the background, all right, moving and stuff like that. There's a little bit of movement in the trees. If you look at the leaves and stuff like that, there's a slight wind movement. That was all generated, and literally it took it 20 seconds to generate it. 20, 30 seconds.
You give the U version a little broader shoulder and trim up my beard a little bit and
yeah.
back it up. If that were a little, I'd be like that. That's us at Fair.
Yeah.
Yeah, not bad.
But yeah, I just wanted to share that really quick.
Yeah, that's kind of cool. There was some AI thing popped up this week I was going to talk to you about, but like I say, it's busy week. It was Fair week, so um, let's see, my geekasm this week. There was
Okay, hold on here. We got a couple of more of,
go
see,
ahead.
Joseph said Friar Tuck Joseph.
Yeah. No, I knew
Um,
I knew that Joseph once I saw a cross go at the end.
Chelsea, shout out, big bro. Love you, little beard.
Which my sister never gets on here, but love you too. Hopefully, we'll see you this weekend.
And Catherine, we have offered that to you guys a time or two. If we decide to use that hotel again, the shower and AC is always available.
Oh, I appreciate it. Yeah, because we don't always get booked down to get the nicer hotel. Sometimes they'll book us somewhere else, but we're trying to get some Airbnbs this year down on the right by the river. If we can get them, that'd be awesome. But if not, we'll live. Us in 15 years, thank you for that.
Yeah,
Obviously,
yeah, that's
next year,
lovely. That's
that's
us.
us this year.
Yeah.
So my geekasm, actually, Mikey Mason was there, and him and I are both big Aquaman fans. And so he last time when he came down for TsunamiCon, he had given me a gift, uh, a shot glass with Slimer on it.
Yeah.
Which the King this year, bless his heart, the King came up to me. He had bought me a Slimer pin for my Pirate Ghostbuster jacket, and then he bought a Slimer pin for Mikey's Ghostbuster outfit that I keep here.
Mm-hmm.
I thought that was just so cool that he had bought something for Mikey, even though he's not around anymore. And that was super. Just made me feel real good.
It gave you the
Um,
feels.
Gave me the feels. And then as I'm walking, so since Mikey Mason got me that Slimer shot glass, I thought I would make him I made him the plaque that Kermit has in his office. It has his quote on it and stuff. And I thought he would appreciate that because I made one for my office. So I made it for him and I gave it to him. And he's like, "Oh, I got something for you again here." Took me out to the car. And as we're going, I'm telling him about Reacher. And he's like, "Oh, yeah, that was Aquaman, blah, blah, blah." And he goes, "That's cool because you're the only guy I know that likes Aquaman as much as me." And he had gotten a
Oh
set of
yeah.
the Aquaman bucket and the cups and everything from when the movie came out that I didn't have. And so I thought that was cool. And then I got home and I realized that like the Aquaman 3D prints I made all fit right on top of the buckets. Like that one fits on top of the bucket. Then Black Manta fits right on top of one of the cups. And then
Nice.
will fit on the cup. So I'm going to put a whole display and we have this big tiered Aquaman thing just over here in my studio. So let's see. Joseph says, I did AI crossovers, Thor fighting Sauron
Sauron,
in Middle Earth, Superman fighting the Daleks, and something came up on my computer, so I can't read it.
Wolverine fighting Indiana Jones, etc.
That's kind of cool.
That is. I
I
was trying
see.
to think of some stuff like I've seen where a lot of people now are utilizing the Chat GPT image generator to create, like boxed action figures. Like
No,
yeah.
that's a pretty big trend because the first one I saw, I thought it was good enough. It was one of the guys in the Ghostbuster group. I was like, where the fuck did he get that made? I love that. Then I start texting him to see like where he got it made, and I was like, oh, I'll see him this weekend probably. I'll just ask him. I'm so glad
Mhm.
I texted him because I would have felt like an idiot then not knowing that everybody has those. But
Yeah, the what I'm waiting for is the point where we'll be able to generate that, like he just did or they do, and then
mhm.
turn around and say, okay, now create me 3D files so I can print it.
Yeah, yes, that's I've been saying that to Christy forever. If I can get something,
It's not far. It's not far.
I had a bunch of people ask me this weekend about creating certain 3D files. I've just said Daryl might be able to do it. I can't, but if you have a file, I can make it happen. But
I'm not that good. No, I'm just good enough to do some card kits. That's about it. I'm not like one of those Blender aficionados or Fusion 360 super gurus who can sit there and create those, especially like the those Aquaman busts and stuff like that you were just showing. All right, those are things that people create in Blender and Fusion 360, and then port that over as a 3D model to print. Those are some true digital artists making that.
Yeah.
That ain't me.
Yeah, no, and that's the thing I keep telling people. Like, I can take a file, maybe modify it a little bit, but
Yeah. I
it's
can
still
cut it in
starting to
half to
like
make
the
sure
work.
it fits on the thing.
It's like saying I could trace that picture for you, but not draw it. Trying to get AI to create 3D models of 2D pictures isn't funny. To see some of the results.
Oh yeah, yeah,
Oh, it is
because
funny now.
yeah, what the AI generates for the portions it can't see, not the prettiest.
I Man, there's part of me who wants to talk 3D printing, but I'm so mad because both my machines are down and I haven't been able to work on them because of the fair. But
Yeah,
did you make it to the 3D printer guy? I don't think you got to leave the booth at all, did you?
I did not get to leave the booth. I was there from open to close, slinging alcohol,
Saying
and
I,
although Jessica did drag me away at one point. Hold on. To see if I liked something, and I told her I did, and then she turned around and purchased it.
oh, is this the thing? Yeah, dang it. See, that is
Yeah,
cool.
yeah,
Then
because it's cool because what it is for people who can't see, it's Star Trek, and it's the theme music for the movie. And
all engraved on the wood.
although after I looked at it, I realized that this is the TOS ship. It's not the movie ship, but that's me being a picky bitch. My wife got me something. I'm going to shut the fuck up.
Well,
Uh,
I was drooling over that thing. Chris just said next to me, "Oh, that's pretty freaking cool." And she goes, "Yeah, I just about bought you the Ghostbuster one, but I didn't know if you would like it." And I go, "Where?" And she points, and they were already all packed up. She was gonna then go buy it, and they were already all packed up.
should have gone and gotten a cart. Matter of fact, I will look on that. There's a sticker on that with the price. I think it's got the name of them,
Yeah,
and we'll look it up and see if they have an online store.
we'll look them up. I mean, I spent enough money. I bought me a new pair of boots this weekend and stuff too. So but yeah. All right. Hey, did I just? Oh, that's Joseph. But
Yeah.
I'll just we go.
Yeah,
um,
I have the capability of any of the things that people post up there. I can hover over them with the mouse and then click on them and get them to show up for 10 seconds on the feed on the stream.
all right. So
I don't know
before
if you
we
can do that.
I might be able to. I haven't really toyed with it too much. I've been letting you do that stuff. But
Hmm.
see what I want to talk about before we talk about Ren Faire too much. Okay, they leaked footage this week of the new Supergirl movie, filming it, which is sounds like it's Supergirl and Lobo pretty much. It is looking surprisingly good.
I hope
So,
so.
and we've gotten the first images of Jason Momoa as Lobo, but they're like so far away that if you told me it was anybody else other than Jason Momoa, I'd probably go,
Oh yeah,
yeah. I mean, it's just there's just not enough there for me to go. He looks awesome or anything like that. If
yeah.
anybody else sound leak images other than the ones they've been showing all over, I'd love to see it. But you do get to see Supergirl's outfit and looks good. It's got the skirt and high boots and all that, which is a little fetishy, but man, it does look good. Even my wife was like, yeah, that looks good. Um, so I'm excited about that, and it does sound like it's going to be pretty much all like everything that they're showing of the filming is all off-world stuff. Um, but Crypto's going to be in it, and which makes everybody think then that Lobo's dog will be in it. And for those that are Lobo fans, I mean, that would be a fucking awesome thing. You got Goody Two Shoe Crypto over here, and then you got Dog over here. I'd watch that in a heartbeat.
And the
So,
question is, who's humping who? That's the question of the day.
well, I don't know. Once you saw Supergirl in that,
Well, no,
I
I'm not talking about Lobo humping Supergirl. I'm talking about which dog's humping which
no,
dog.
no, I know that. That's yeah, it would be Dog all over Crypto. I think,
Yeah.
but it'd be a good fight. But I figured I better bring it up because I know they're going to be leaking more stuff of that, probably right up until the new Superman movie releases. Um, I wanted to touch on Mac with the Scallywag social media.
Oh, he's
If
doing great.
anybody is on the Wags stuff and seeing the stuff he's been doing really good, trying to keep us up on social media. And he just started a whole bunch of new stuff. He filmed stuff this weekend. He's got a lot of plans in the future. So if anybody does like what he's doing, I mean, I'm not even saying this so you get traffic on the WAG stuff. You don't have to do it through that. Just let Mac know. because he has gone out of his way. And when I told everybody, hey, I need help doing all that stuff, he has gone out of his way and really, really pushed it and done a lot of work. And it has helped out tremendously. And I got so many comments this weekend on, emails getting responded to. And
We need to get him on the winery.
yeah, I'm sure he would do it. But yeah, I was very impressed with that. So he's got a lot of new stuff coming out. If you guys like the new stuff he's doing, encourage it. Let him know. Let him know, hey, Mac, you're doing a good job. And I want to let people know he's doing it because a lot of people think I'm doing it because I do a lot of the other stuff. And I don't want to take credit for something somebody else is doing. The other thing was, before we get to Minecraft, is TsunamiCon. TsunamiCon has changed their dates this year back to October. They were going to be October 24th, 26th. We got a lot of other shows we're doing this year, but this is also another show that like Ash comes and does with us. We'll have some WAG stuff there. We're going to do Drunkards and Dragons. ConCast will be doing we're pushing for, I don't want to do promises. We're pushing for a model contest that we'll be running there this year for 3D printing and other models. But it looks like
which means we need to, so we can throw up some examples. We need to do some. I need to, with the resin printer, get some stuff done. So if you wanted any of those, like the detail portion of your models done in resin, you let me know. I get you taken care of, bro.
Yeah, I definitely need to chat with you on that. I got to get my printers fixed and get caught up on my stuff. But then, problem is I got so much Ghostbusters and Scooby-Doo shit down there that I don't even want to look at now because it's just boxes of it that I need to paint up. And it's festival season now. So,
dude, my lovely wife, I came back from Chicago and Jessica had just cleaned up because the craft room, originally it was her craft room, and then I took it over because she wasn't crafting, and we were moving all of her stuff to the larger room upstairs, but there was still a good portion of the room, about a third of it, that was her stuff. And I came home and she had cleaned all that out, was painting the walls, getting stuff done, and looking great. And so I took all the models that I had in boxes that waiting to be printed, waiting to be built down, that were down on those shelves. I put them all up on a bookcase that's over here. It's completely filled the bookcase with spillage going over. So you don't even got to talk to me. I counted just boxes of models. I've got 41.
Holy
and that
shit.
Doesn't include the one I'm working on right now.
I feel the pain. That same pain is why I'm also up here in the art studio doing the podcast today instead of down there, because that damn dinosaur is everywhere. So,
Buck-tooth brontosaurus.
Yeah, that's dinosaur. And for those that I'm sure most people in here know, I'm printing a full-size He-Man action figure from the 80s for a buddy of mine. I'll put it this way, it's as large as I am. Like, its torso is the size of my torso.
Mm-hmm.
Its head isn't much smaller than mine. Its neck's about as big as my arm. I mean, it's good size. So it's it just takes up a lot of room. But on the tsunami thing, one thing I want to point out there, especially since some of my other friends, and I know a couple of them on here, Joseph's on here, and Jake and Buddy, that all perform. Not that I'm pointing fingers at you guys, but with TsunamiCon, it's run a little different than a lot of other cons. It's all fan funded. They put out a Patreon. We try to share it and help them out. And the people that put it on, great people. The main reason they do it is so that, because they do like a gaming podcast and stuff, is so that we can rent an entire hotel, get together, and game all weekend in a way. I mean, that's pretty much what it is. They're not in it for money. They're not in it for, they charge just enough to get the con to happen.
And now, this year, they're going back to the Scottish Rite Center.
See, I didn't hear that. Oh,
yeah, I heard that one. Maybe we should check on it. Maybe, hold on. I'll check and make sure. I got the TsunamiCon pulled up right here.
Eric that runs it sent me
it's at the Wichita Scottish Rite Center.
Okay. And I had not read it yet because of fair time.
But I love that place. That place is super awesome.
The Scottish Rite Center was a lot of fun because one of my favorites is they got that huge old theater there that looks a lot like the Muppet Theater. And
So
so,
much. I didn't make that
and
connection. That is so
so,
Muppet Theater.
so last time we did there, Mikey Mason was doing his concert, and Bean and I went up and Statler and Waldorfed him from the actual balcony seats. So, I mean, it was perfect. We had like, it looked just like out of the Muppet Theater. We had the balcony seats, and then Mikey down there. The only problem is normally I'm one of the wittier guys in the room, and Mikey can outwit me. So, even with like me and Bean both being there, I was like, "Oh, we got this shit." Now he
Ooh,
had
no,
us,
he's quick. He's
but
quick, and he's had decades of dealing with drunk hecklers.
he's also gentle. He knows how far he can push you without doing it too far.
Yeah.
Most of the shows this weekend, I introduced him as a guy we try to get in the wags and just won't do it, and then he'll come out and just tell the audience exactly why he won't join the wags, and it's like, damn it, that hurts. But yeah, it's all accurate, all accurate. Anyhow, let's see. Yeah, beautiful venue. So, oh yeah, and Kristen's on here too. So she's usually there gaming with us and everything else.
Mm-hmm.
So the thing I'm putting out there, just in the field, Mikey Mason normally MCs it. It's looking like he is already booked to another show this year, so we're going to step in, and I've MC'd it before. It's not a big thing, but we're going to step up. They're always looking for other entertainment. We've had Clearly Guilty down there before, numbers of others, but pretty much what it is it's a, like, you can get your expenses paid a lot of times, but to come and entertain, it's more of a, they open it up to us and we just get a game with each other and have a good time. It's like you get to be part of the whole experience, and it's gaming with other patrons, performers, that kind of stuff.
It's for the love of
The love of doing it.
Yeah, it's for the love of doing it. It is not, to come there and make a paycheck. If someone's there doing it, it's because they want to be there, and it's a highlight for them personally. It's not because they're just there to ching the till. Hi, honey.
So I'm reaching out to some of my folks this like, I'm going to reach out to Ring Counters Society that does a gaming podcast. They're friends of ours.
Mm-hmm.
Who are going to be coming on this podcast as soon as I get off my ass to make it happen. But they I'm going to try to get them down here to do some stuff, Mr. E and them. So if there are performers that go, hey, that sounds like a blast when I hear you guys doing Drunkards and Dragons and shit, give me a shout. We can maybe get it set up and get some of our other performing friends down here to do some shows, run some games. Because it's not even all about just like, oh, you got to come down and do music. Just having personalities that can run games. That's half the time why they like me there, is because I get to sit and play games with people, and I'll keep the momentum going.
I would not be opposed to, if we wanted to. Hold on. Let me pause my mic.
Oh, if anybody can read lips, I'm so curious. Go ahead.
I said Kristen says hi.
Kristen? How's it going in here?
It's going good. But I was going to say, if I would not be opposed, because I really love those. It's the boy. The whole family's here. He's gotten that tall. He's like Lurch there.
Oh, I didn't even recognize him when he walked through the tent at the fair, and a bunch of teenagers just walked back by the alcohol. Who they here with? And all I saw was height walking through, so I didn't even think in. And so I was like, I'm gonna go find out. And I walked back there like with some purpose, And I saw it was Gann, and which, first off, it was like, man, you're getting huge. Then I turned around, I was like, oh, it's okay. And
yeah.
I looked at by somebody, and you're just gonna let him be back. Oh yeah, trust me, if he wants that alcohol, he could get it.
He could have got it anytime at home, and he never touches it. So I'm not worried about it. But I was going to say, at the TsunamiCon, they're going to have back the Meeple-a-thon people who did the painting classes we took.
Oh yes.
It would not be a bad thing to see and reach out to them and see if they want to come on, ConCast, just give a little, hey, this is what we do, we're going to be there kind of thing, because they were really good people.
Well, and the way that was set up, for those that think about coming to Tsunami, I know this turned into a commercial now, but so it's they 3D print.
That's what gets a sponsorship someday.
There you go.
But
they
not from TsunamiCon.
like kits and miniatures for us at the convention, and then they bring
Everything.
nicer brushes than I have here.
Mm-hmm.
That we get to sit down and they teach us different techniques. And even me having painted miniatures for freaking 30 some years or whatever, I'm like, I'm not going to learn anything. I learned shit that day.
Yeah.
It's kind of,
yeah, they do 3 different classes. They do beginner miniature painting skin and faces, and miniature painting magic special effects. So to teach you how to, if you got your little wizard there doing a fireball or something like that, or ice cast, how to get that magic to look good on your painting. And it's all free classes. You just sign up for it, and they give you the miniature, and you get to take the miniature home with you. They resin print them all and stuff like that. They give you the paints. They give you the brushes. You don't get to take the paint and brushes.
And they're high quality prints. They're not shit prints.
Yeah, this is not cheap little plastic break it off to sprue kind of crap. This is high quality print. I'm trying to think, do I still have mine? No, I don't think so. It's in that mess. It's in the mess.
So I want to for sure bring up TsunamiCon, because as we get more involved trying to help out, I'm sure we're going to be sharing stuff on here. And I know I have a lot of talented, fun friends on here that do stuff. For those that are interested to help a really grassroots funded event to grow, because like none of us are looking for any kind of, sometimes when we do this stuff, it'll be like, oh, we're getting some ownership in that fair, or I'm one of the producers of that fair. This is just something we just do so that we can have a cool gaming con here locally that we can all meet up with our friends and game at. So
I'm going to be bringing my new Star Trek game and having a table on that. I'll go ahead and sign up for that.
Well, and it looks like Cookie's gonna be doing the new
Turtle Island
that he had made, that we've been test playing. So looks like that'll be
Adventures on Turtle Island.
So the last thing before we get back,
it sounds like something the Venture Brothers would do, but no, it's not.
It sounds like a video game from the 90s, but yeah.
Well, it does at that. It does at that.
The last thing I want to talk about before we finish talking about Ren Faire would be the Minecraft movie. Have you seen much on that over the weekend? Because it came out.
I've seen lots of stuff out there with all of it around Jack Black.
Have you seen the chicken jockey stuff? And
I've seen the chicken jockey stuff. Yeah.
So I guess I keep having it come across my feed, because this morning one of the things they were showing is where somebody actually died in the theater. And yeah, you can get on and watch. People filmed it. It wasn't from anything. It just happened to be a coincidence. Like, it just coincidentally happened. But
Please tell me he died laughing.
I don't know. They didn't give a lot of details, but the video I watch, as dude's filming it, he's filming them dealing with the body, and then even as the screen comes on and the chicken jockey part happens, people are still yelling chicken jockey and shit. And I was like, oh man, you want to reach through the screen and just slap them. But for the most part, it's like or I guess I should say, what people are doing is movies are just not doing well in theaters. Snow White came out, it got bombed. I mean, almost everything that's been coming out has been doing really poorly. So you don't know what the future of cinema is. That movie theaters are really, really struggling. Like, they weren't pulling Snow White out of theaters, even though nobody was in it, because there was no movie to replace it with until Minecraft came out. And then people started to go watch Minecraft, ironically, to make fun of it. And to me, it's like a generation that wants to do Rocky Horror but doesn't know how to do it right. No offense to anybody out there doing that, but
they've got to do it their own way. They've got to do it their own way. I mean, they've got to have their trolls too. They've got to,
Like, when I used to be part of a Rocky cast, we did some wild, wild shit.
Well,
we did some shit that was not right at all. But we always cleaned up afterwards.
Yeah.
Like, and we did some wild shit, but we were respectful of the theaters for letting us do it, and the theaters for paying the licensing rights for us to do it there. So what they're doing now is it's just destroy the theater. It's not even like, hey, we're all yelling to have fun. It's literally make as big a mess as you can. They're buying tons of buttered popcorn stuff, throwing it all over. And the theaters are stuck between a rock and a hard place because
they need
a lot of popcorn.
Yeah.
But yeah, they got to. So they talked. A number of them talked about pulling the movie so they don't get trashed. But there's nothing to fucking replace it with because nobody wants to see any movies right now. So it's just a
It
it
is a tumultuous time, and it's not a time where people are going to go to, escapism right now isn't being found in cinema. I'm not sure where escapism is being found. Based on how much money we made this weekend, it's being found in alcohol.
yeah.
Uh,
I was going to say because festivals are doing pretty well for the most part. I mean, the
yeah.
attendance like this weekend was incredible. Um,
Considering the atmospheric conditions we dealt with, attendance was stupendous.
and I guess this pulls us right into the Ren Fair. But man, it was a weird year. I was talking with everybody. The King and I had a big long chat about it, where it just felt weird. Like everybody wasn't quite ready for it. Um, and most of us have done this festival. I mean, this was the 20th year of this festival. We've been at every one. I think it's the 25th year of the fall festival. Um, it's I don't know. It's just a weird year. And this year I decided no canvas tent because I wanted to set it up nice and easy with pop ups. And then, like you said, like winds came through,
We
and
were dealing with 40 to almost 50-mile-an-hour gusts out for people who weren't there. It
we
was, and those tents, I mean, those pop-ups are not designed for that at
no,
all. I mean, the old canvas tents, those things are designed to weather, World War III and still have a mash unit in it. All right, those things are tough. The pop-ups are not. They're designed for farmers markets.
we lost 5 pop ups this weekend.
Yeah.
I'm able to repair 3 of them, so I think we're going to be fine there. But it's
But and that's the horrible part, is because when you were setting them up on Friday and I came
they
out there
look
and looked
good.
at them, they looked
Yeah.
wunderbar. I loved them, but they were so light and so much sail area on them. I'm surprised that one time when Christina was helping me on something and it blew over and that leg just came sailing right past our heads as it blew over.
Yep.
Surprised we didn't get hit. I mean, the first thing I did is it went over our heads. I just looked at her. I was like, "You okay?" She's like, "Yeah, I'm okay." I was like, "Okay, we're good."
So we did do well in the winery. The shows for people that came out to see us this weekend.
Mm-hmm.
The I'll say smoker show, which we now call Pirate Power Hour. So forgive me if I say smoker
It's
instead, but
P3. Go
everybody
ahead.
knows what.
It's your P3.
Huh?
Oh, no. Pirate Power Hour. No, I guess it's PPH. It's not P3.
PPA. Um, so our normal shows on stage, since Rich had messed up the schedule, and like I said, good news, I'm going to be helping with schedule this year, so it'll be much better. But uh, we pretty much gave our shows to Mikey Mason because he drove all the way from Indiana, so he needed to do shows. So we would come out, start the show, and then turn it over to Mikey and do all that. Oh, Kristen said it was bad. Are you talking schedule wise? Because
I think she was talking about weather.
weather. Oh, the wind. Okay, good. Um, so our we thought it was weird how tired we all were for the fact we only did part of 3 shows. Like we did the introduction, and then we got to sit down, and then we did a smoker, and at the end of the day, we were just exhausted. So that first day of the first smoker, we get in there, and Cookie had come up with a Planko game where people could come up and drop a little Planko chip in, and wherever it lands is what alcohol that we have behind there, and then they get to pick who they want to drink the alcohol, either somebody they brought with them or somebody on stage, and then whoever takes it has to take the shot, and then they have to be asked a question and answer the question right away.
Yeah.
And we thought that was a good idea. I learned Sunday that this is something I can't do. Like I can't MC a show and drink shit.
Especially considering the fact that some of it was not alcohol. It
Right.
was it was
Well,
not.
the one that got me was about an ounce and a half of soy sauce, and
Yeah.
it killed me because Sunday or Saturday I didn't have to do a lot of shows. The Power Hours are our last show, so um, I drank. I was there with a lot of my friends that I got to hang with. I didn't get to talk to people much during the day because we were just resetting fucking tent stakes and stuff all day, trying to keep tents down. So, like,
Yeah.
this was my time to hang. And originally, I thought I had gone through 6 full size beers in the hour we were in there, but come to find out, I only went through 5 because almost every time I set down a beer, either Mikey Mason or Big Tim would come over and take a big chug out of my beer while I was talking to the audience. But yeah, I went through about 5 beers, which isn't tons, but 5 in an hour was just enough to kind of get me going. So I was feeling good and happy by the time it was all done. And it ended up making me a little stupid sick, and
Yeah.
amateur move, but it was one of those like you're tired and everything. So that was good. But I get it all out of my system, all good. Next day, I'm like, I'm not drinking at Fair at all today because I don't need it. I had a good time last night. That nauseousness staying with you a little bit. What I didn't realize is once I got into the smoker, I did the initial toast with a partial beer, so I do a chug a beer thing at the beginning of the smoker sometime. So I did that, and that right away kind of just like stirred everything back up.
Right.
So I'm good. And then our buddy Tony gets the Plinko thing, and he gets soy sauce. Now keep in mind the other stuff was actually like a oatmeal cookie rum or whiskey that's really good. We had some moonshine in there. Pickle juice was one. Pickle juice I could do all day long. I'm a Rennie. Soy sauce is the one I got. And I shot it, and it was,
Again?
No, I
Again?
got it just the first time.
Okay.
I had to do a different shot earlier, and then I did a spicy vodka pickle shot, which isn't good either. And then the soy sauce though. And then I went right back to MCing. So you're trying to catch your breath and everything. And Mikey Mason comes up, does a song. I go over, I'm able to wash my mouth out. I'm like, oh God, that was like some people think we're up there just joking and not, oh man, I was rough. And then we're doing the last song. And since I kind of lead the last song, I was running out of breath the whole time. And I don't know who in the audience may notice, but there's a number of times I'd like pat Frankie on the back and he would just stand in front of me for a minute and do my line. And then I could take a deep breath and then come back in. And oh God, it was everything I could do to stay. And then right afterwards is when everybody comes up to come give you hugs and the smoker's over, want to do hugs and stuff. And I'm trying to sit down in his chair and I'm all nauseous. And it was just a nightmare roller coaster for about 10 or 15 minutes for me. And it was one of those moments afterwards you're just like, I'm too old to keep going the way I'm going with this.
Yep.
I need to go back to the way I used to do it, where I don't drink anything at all until I get to the smoker, and then I have a beer at the smoker. And then on Sunday, I can have a bottle of mead during the smoker because
I know somebody who can get you one.
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
Yeah.
Which I didn't drink any mead this weekend except for those shots we did from that guy that came in that brought his mead for us.
Oh, the one who wants me to go on that podcast.
Yeah. He runs a mead podcast. That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, he doesn't want me on there talking about all the brewing techniques I use.
I think it's more he wants. Well, sure, bring it on,
No.
baby. I think he wants me on there just the general fact that I am, someone who started off as a home brewer, much like what he does and stuff like that, and has actually, we have made the jump from home brewing to being legit, and I think he wants someone to talk, what it takes to stumble up to that, and stumble we have.
That's exactly why I brought him over to you, because Christy was talking to him, and I know him anyway from Fair, but there's a lot of people get the impression that like I make a lot of the mead that we have there, and I do not. I drink it. I help stir it. I add the honey when Daryl tells me how much honey to add, but that kind of stuff. So when people come up and start talking shop with me on that, I'm like, oh, you're going to talk in my head real quick, and I don't want to look dumb. So that's why I went and got you. But yeah, that's all I really had. I could talk a lot about go by the step by steps.
I had a couple other things that I wanted to touch on, news articles really quick.
Oh, sure, you bet.
Just this one I'm mad about because for years Lucas says it no longer exists, but There's been a news article in the Telegraph confirming that British Film Institute will screen an original uncut version of Star Wars in the UK at the Film on Film Festival's opening night on June 12th. This is the first time the original print will be screened publicly since December of '78.
So when you say uncut, is this the one that the original editor did?
This is the original one that was released to theaters, 77 through 78. Okay. The one that George Lucas has swore up and down ever since he released his, remastered ones, that original one no longer exists. It's there.
That I would still like to see. Now, granted, of our generation, I've seen it a bunch, just not for many, many years.
But there's also seen it theater quality since it was in the theater when we were little bitty kids. The only times that we've seen that unedited one has been on VHS.
See, and I thought at first you were talking there was original edit of a version. You can catch a couple clips on YouTube of it, just clips.
Oh yeah, the Scottish guy.
No. Well, you're talking David Prowse's voice before James Earl Jones's voice. No,
I'm talking the Scottish guy who in the fur coat, who was the original stand-in for Jabba the Hutt.
Yeah, no. I'm talking the original edit. So originally there was a different editor for Star Wars, and it was bad. It was real bad. And I guess he took it to Spielberg or somebody, and they're like, no, you can't. So Lucas's wife started working on the edit for it, and then that ends up being the version that we see in the theaters. So the edited version, I believe now, of what we have now, was Lucas and her
his wife. Yeah, in the basement doing it. I remember hearing those stories. What we're talking about is the original theatrical release.
Because if you look up some of that original edit on YouTube, oh man, if she hadn't redone that movie, it would have been
a huge flop. Huge flop. It would have been huge. I mean, and cinema would have been forever different.
Berto says, "Can we get the original Star Trek instead?" You got to admit, the first Star Trek movie was known.
We don't talk about the odd number movies, and that one cinematically was breathtaking, but pacing was horrible, and it ended up just being V'ger. So we won't talk about that.
When you don't see a lot of people using those Star Trek outfits to cosplay.
No, you don't wear that stuff to get laid. All right.
Yeah. Wait, did you wear any Star Trek outfit to get laid? Or they're like people I'm wearing the Klingon shit tonight. I'm getting me some. Or...
Hey, I'm telling you, man. You think the furries are weird?
Man, see, I live in a world where I don't put on Ghostbusters.
Captain Kirk, face me. Yeah.
But I do think I can pick up my Ghostbuster shit off the floor, and my wife might appreciate that enough to give me some. But that's about it.
I've had my wife offer to dress like Uhura for me to tell her, no, that's not my kink.
Oh boy, I tell you this weekend when I had to do the Plunko thing, and then I got asked a question. My last question was, what comic book character would you want to sleep with, or do you find attractive enough to sleep with, or something like that?
Betty Rubble.
See, I said I want to try to be funny and say Scooby-Doo, but that would just be weird. So I'm going to say Velma from Scooby-Doo.
Oh yeah, Velma.
Fucking nuts immediately. I expected to get a little reaction, but everybody just went fucking nuts.
Hell yeah.
And, I was surprised that, or I said everybody our age in this room, Velma, and I was kind of surprised at the reaction. But then Mikey jumped in too, and he said, "Don't forget Janine from Ghostbusters," and I was like, "Fuck." Yeah. Because even if that didn't do it for me, she still reminds me of Annie Potts, and Annie Potts, she'll do it.
Corvette Summer, man, made a man out of me.
It's one, even when watching Young Sheldon with my wife, and as old as Annie Potts is now, I'll still say, she's still got it. My wife will go, yep, she does.
Yeah, so. I'd break that hip. Let me see, another news article. The new D&D rules are being given to creators for free. All right, so after all the hubbub and all the crap that they did, they're now backpedaling and open them back up so people can start doing stuff with the D&D and not having it all closed off and pay to play kind of stuff.
That's awesome. I good, because all I saw on the horizon was the death of D&D.
Yeah. Now this is what they call it, the System Reference Document, or SRD 5.2.
Okay.
And it's going to be allows fans and third parties to create their D&D adventures, source books, classes, monsters, and settings for publication, paid and free.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Cool.
So that's cool. And the last thing I wanted to bring up is apparently, you know how Universal Theaters has done like their, their, what was it? Done their Halloween Horror Nights and stuff like that.
Oh yeah.
Well, they're taking it on and doing other things, not necessarily horror, but they're doing theme things where, after hours it takes over the park. They're doing Star Trek Red Alert. So on the upper lot, they're doing a whole after hours Star Trek thing where you go through and all the stuff like that. And on the lower lot, they're doing a whole D&D Secrets of Waterdeep.
I wonder if this is going to be like those because like when they do the horror thing, it's like a park wide kind of thing.
Mm-hmm. That's what they're doing.
God, that'd be cool as hell.
It's basically, because remember when Headshots were doing their pop-up bars?
Yeah.
It's like this, but it's like Universal Theaters does it.
Well, it sounds a lot like, I don't know if you ever saw the Walking Dead one, and it would travel to conventions, like San Diego Comic-Con had it and stuff. So it was a huge deal, and it's kind of like a haunted attraction, but it was all Walking Dead themed, and you have reenactors and different groups going through, but it's an experience.
Right.
They just take to cons like that, kind of like the some of those sideshow deals they do and stuff. I wonder if it's more like that kind of thing.
I don't know if it's going to travel. I don't know if it's going to travel. I don't know if it's just going to be, like I from the way it sounds, because it's only going to be going for like a month or so, and before they rotate it out to something else. So that's the reason I'm thinking it's more like the pop-up bar. But I did not see anything in the news article about, the possibilities of it traveling.
Does it sound like they're going to try to like the D&D one will run for 6 months and then they'll pop another one in there or something? Or?
Well, let me see here. The all-new After Hours event kicks off April 25th and runs select nights through May 18th.
Oh, that's not much.
Yeah, I know. That's the reason I said it's just like a pop-up bar. And that's for the Star Trek Red Alert on the upper lot, they say. And the Dungeons and Dragons one will be on the lower lot. And it's a walk-through kind of thing where you actually walk through the whole adventure.
All right. We're interested then.
Let me see. These aren't the only two experiences that will be available for fans to enjoy. Back to the Future themed Destination Hill Valley. So they've got all the stuff like that. I don't know if they're going to be doing more stuff.
That Back to the Future destination that you're talking about, I saw a video of them doing that on YouTube.
Yep.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, they're saying something about provide new and meet and greets for Yoshi and Scavenger Hunt at the Super Nintendo World, as well as One Piece and Jujutsu Kaisen themed experiences in the park.
Dyson.
I'm sure I butchered the shit out of that.
Yeah. Try MC in a anime festival.
I did that once. I did that once, and I had a complaint against me. So we're never doing that again.
Yeah, I remember that. And it was such a stupid.
And they told me you'll have to apologize, and I said no, I'm not. we'll make you leave. Okay, I'm out the door. Goodbye.
Yeah, I remember that. Matter of fact, I've never gone back and done that festival again either. That was a rough one.
Yeah.
Met cool people there though. All right. Well, I think we ran an hour.
Yeah.
Steven, howdy fellas. Howdy Steven.
Hey, Mr. Stevon.
And Berto's on, which I hadn't really because he just got on here recently. I didn't get to say bye to you when you left Friday or Saturday. I didn't get to say bye to a lot of people. We were going to go grab supper, and I wasn't feeling well, as I was saying, so we went home. We didn't even do supper. We just
I
I
always
did
feel
everybody
bad
this.
about Damn It Dave because he always invites me out to supper, and I had to tell him this time, I was like, dude, you know I'm an introvert. I don't go out and eat with people. And he's like, I know, but I feel like I have to offer. I'm like, I appreciate that, but I'm
That's the
never going to
problem.
say yes.
Dave is such a sweetheart, though. Like, the only bad part about that is sometimes we'll be like, hey, let's go out to dinner, and there'll be like 5 of us. And it's like, yeah, it sounds great. And then Dave, like, he will find anybody that might be eating dinner by themselves and go, come on,
Oh,
let's
yeah.
go. Because it's nice. And the next thing you know, party of 40. It's like, man, I was real cool when it was 5 of us, but 40 of us, I'm.
He is the opposite of me. He is an extrovert extraordinaire.
Yes. Yeah. So, um, but man, damn, now you're saying that, I'm hoping they do one of those Ghostbuster pop-ups.
Yeah.
Kristen says he asks everyone. He
He
does.
does. He does. He is a sweetheart, and he doesn't miss anybody in asking. But
But see, and I felt horrible this weekend too because again, I didn't go to dinner with anybody this weekend because
yeah,
we were tired and I wasn't feeling well. And then Saturday, and I will say there are some patrons that can be very rude. Like they'll see you in the middle of a conversation, or like what happened a lot was us resetting tent lines and stuff. And they'll come over and they'll just stand there and stare at you and try to talk to you. And you'll be like, hey, I'm real busy right now. Well, I just wanted to talk to you for 5 minutes. Well, can I finish this first? Well, I don't know how long I'm sticking around or something. You're like, I'm in the middle. I don't know if you know I'm at work today. you know,
well, and
uh,
that's where like on Saturday when it was all windy, I would make people hold the tent for me, keep it from blowing away. They were like, "Hi," and I was like, "Yeah, hold on to this for me, thanks." And then I just
walk away. Oh, that's a dick move.
I'm
Uh,
sorry, I had stuff to do, and the tent was blowing away.
like I felt real bad because I know some people had to think I was giving them the cold shoulder Saturday, but we were just running our asses off all day trying to keep shit going, and everybody wanted to talk, but it's like, man, there just wasn't time on Saturday.
Yeah.
Sunday, yeah, but not Saturday.
Now Saturday was a whirlwind of wind.
Yeah. Which I didn't get to ask you, and I'll ask now and right here in front of everybody. But um, we were able to add to the winery this year the liquor by the cup. You guys were
Yes,
able to pour. How did
yeah.
that go?
It went very well. I think. Let me pull up here as we're talking. I can
Kristen
go
says, "Yeah,
to
I totally held the tent. I figured. I saw all of our pretty much regular our clique of people from Ren Faire were all there
yeah.
throughout, and everybody kudos that came and helped out this weekend because there are a lot of people that came and helped out this weekend.
Oh yeah. There were. I mean, lots of people stepped up and did. Let me see. I'm pulling up the reports right now. Just had to go through secondary identification because we need to make sure everything stays locked up.
Berto says I
Um,
was wrecked this time and drunk some the next day. I didn't see you drink it all over the weekend, dude. Uh, but yeah, I figured you were looking tired, and as tired as I was feeling, I figured you were feeling it
oh yeah, most definitely. Let me see. Sales trends.
because I was really wanting to get you together and do a big Scallywags group photo for
Oh
us, and
yeah.
we just didn't.
Let me see here. Glass of wine units sold 261 units.
Okay, not bad.
So if you do the math on that, um,
Well, hey Meg. Yeah, Meg, I was saying we had 5 go down just in our the area we have with all the pirate ship and stuff. We had 5 of our own tents go
yeah,
down. So I
yeah,
know we were looking
we
at other.
did. We went through 52 bottles of mead in sales.
Oh, for pouring.
Yeah,
Okay.
so that was almost 5 cases.
Yeah, it's not bad for not advertising it and having it for the first time.
I
So
guess.
that's good.
Yeah. Yeah. It was very popular. It was. It
So if
was.
anybody's got a slushy machine out there, like an industrial one,
Well,
just
not even an industrial. We'll break your cheap one. It
I
can.
think that's our next step.
It could have
Is
Snoopy on the
slushy.
side of it. We'll use it.
Oh. Well, I got one of those that like hand cranks that you give to like the 10-year-olds and they can make their own. We can do with that down here.
No. Now, see, that's one of my questions too, is because we're gonna try doing the same thing that Wildwood did, where they have their mead slushies, their wine
Mhm.
slushies, but we need to try it out ahead of time. We need to try it out ahead of time to make sure that the slushy machine gets cold enough to freeze the mead, because I remember hearing a lot of people, and this is nothing negative to Wildwood, but I heard of a couple people complaining that the slushies seemed to be very watered down. They were not very mead or wine, flavorful. And that could be because they might have to water it down with a lot of water in order to get it to freeze, because the alcohol keeps it from freezing. And that's something that we have to explore.
Yep, check with. Yeah, because that's one of those things, too. People will think sometimes that we have like a feud with Wildwood or something.
No, he came over and we had a good chat,
Yeah.
We were
They've
talking
invited
about
us
vehicles.
to the winery.
Yeah.
We haven't gone yet, but they keep inviting us to the winery, come take a tour and stuff. And
He's even offering to hook us up with his honey provider.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're good people.
Yeah.
It's just, I mean, I guess we mention them a lot because that's maybe what we aspire to be like or something, so. Let's see, Dustin says the slushy machine was invented by
Omar Nidlink in the late 1950s in Coffeyville, Kansas. The invention came about after Nidlink's soda fountain malfunctioned, forcing him to store his soda in the freezer, where it became slushy.
Dun, dun, dun. Well, that's cool. Now you just have to memorize that for casual conversation when people come up to buy wine slushies.
I will put it on a placard so I can just point to it and walk away. All right?
Yeah. All right.
Blackberry mead slushies. Yay! Except for we don't make blackberry mead.
But we could.
We could. I mean,
we'll put it on the endless list of ones we want to make someday. Because we keep talking about
if we wanted to go, shall we say, high production, we could just take our normal mead and add blackberry flavoring. Yeah. But that feels like cheating to me.
It does feel like cheating.
I mean, all the other stuff that we do with real fruits.
That's one of the things I'm going to end up having to do with my experiments I'm wanting to do. Like my big ones, I want to just make an Elvis one, which is honey, peanut butter, and banana. But peanut butter and banana are both things that can be a little difficult. So,
yeah.
But to me, that's more of a not for, like, I don't have a dream like we're going to have it in a bottle and sell it. I just want to make it so I can drink it. And then when everybody else is talking, I go, hey, I made this, Yeah, that's it. But anyhow, it's 8:18. We should get going. Hang on.
Ever going to try to make the basic bitch? Well, that's the problem. Did we ever get a report on mouthfeel from you two?
From us?
Yeah, remember I had that test batch of mead that I used that extra ingredient in because the thing is I want to make the basic bitch, but I wanted to increase the taste viscosity of it so it felt a little bit more creamy.
For those that don't know, the basic bitch is a pumpkin spice mead.
Spice mead. I want to do a pumpkin spice mead and call it basic bitch and have a picture of Uggs on the label.
I remember we liked it. I can't remember what the mouthfeel was like. I thought we talked about this, but maybe we didn't.
I think you might have mentioned it to me that maybe I needed to try a little bit more. Because I've talked to some people who have, the problem is a lot of people who have done like a really creamy alcohol or a mead in a homebrew, they use stuff that I don't think I can get past the feds because all my recipes have to be approved by the feds. And what they're doing with different dairy products and stuff like that in order to increase the viscosity of it, that just sounds like something that, because you have 3 different levels of recipe submittal to the feds whenever you do any of this stuff. You have like the basic mead one. That one I just said, I'm making honey mead. And they said, sounds good, go for it. And that's all it took. Because that one's basic enough. But the orange vanilla mead, because we use real oranges and real vanilla beans, they were like, okay, no, give us a full breakdown of every step, everything you do. We want it all done, blah, 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 and then send that in and we'll approve it. And so I did that, and they went ahead and checked it over and approved it. Now, the third level, which I don't want to get to because it sounds like a real bitch, is you actually have to create it, provide them with a sample of it so they can test it, and make sure it's not going to kill anybody or make anybody go blind.
All right.
But who knows? With Trump in office, maybe that whole office will go away.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, people going blind left and right.
boy. Yeah, trust me. Oddly, and we're getting off here, but politics got brought up so often this weekend. I kept having to walk away
Mm-hmm.
because the current situation is really hurting a lot of vendors, like bad.
Just
Well,
wait, because
not vending anymore.
coming May 2nd, because up until here recently, all right, you know how everything you get from Timo or AliExpress and stuff like that is dirt cheap, is because when things coming from China under $800 in value has been just let it go, tariff free. They don't even bother with it. All right, anything $800 or less. Well, starting May 2nd, the $800 and less stuff is going to be tariffed. I want to say 90%, or I could be short on that. It may be more. Anybody who knows, bring it up. But it's going to be so all that stuff that's super cheap on AliExpress, all my, my lighting stuff, my wires, my LEDs, all the stuff like that I'm getting just for a couple bucks is going to increase in price. And
yep. Well, see, that's the problem I was having with some of my vendor friends there that were talking. Some of them just buy and resell,
Yeah, and that's the thing, is this stuff is going to be,
and it's like this is going to cost me 5 times as much, or put me out of business. And so many people just are buying in as much bulk as they can now, even. But some of the price differences, people were telling me the ad different. I mean, it scares me as somebody who runs conventions and stuff. It's going to be hard to get some of those same vendors back. I'm going to see we're going to get a big turnover in vendors.
But that being said, all right, it was made mention to me this weekend, a lot of people going through that a lot of things at the festival were either 3D printed or drop shipped, all right, or something like that. It's not, it wasn't, you're going to go like you made leather goods, all right.
Right. I still had to order or get stuff that comes in from overseas, though.
But still,
some of our.
I mean, for the most part, it was all, it was handmade. You went down to the Tandy leather factory and picked up the stuff you needed and you made it. And, like Lyle and his chainmail and stuff like that. A lot of that stuff has been fading away. And this might bring around a resurgence of some of that.
But even like a lot of those accessories for the leather, buckles and stuff, a lot of that.
Oh, yeah, very much so. Very much so. You're absolutely right. But, it's like one of the things I was looking at, like, I'm looking, for my models, I had purchased, a little lighting panel. This little lighting panel, it's, let me see here. Whoa. This little thing here with shipping cost me $26. And I was like, and this, I got to watch it because this is the same thing that got me started making wine. And, it's a slippery freaking slope. Because I was like, it's a great little item and it does different flashing patterns for different ships. But I was like, hold on, all that is just a couple little, integrated circuits and, microprocessors, and that's it, and a little resistors. Why can't I do that? So I went and found boards that, are like $3 a pop and that you can program and that you can do your own lighting on. And so, and the thing is that these kind of things that we're getting right now super cheap from China. It's not because, and this is one thing too that got to me, is because I was recently read an article, and it was that, okay, not Steve Jobs, whoever the guy is who's head of Apple now. He says that the reason that they still have their phones made in China is not because of the cheaper wages. He goes, the wages there have, that's not been the way it has, the way it used to be for like over a decade. The wage costs have gone up because of their skilled labor. And that's the whole thing, is he says that the China
Tim
now
Cook.
has this. Yeah, Tim Cook. Thank you, Dustin.
That's Dustin saying it, not like I remembered.
He says that now China has the skilled labor. And that's what we're missing here, because once they shipped all of our jobs overseas, because they were incentivized to ship them overseas, we lost having the skilled labor. And so as much as I do not like what's going on right now, and I do, blah, 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 we're not talking politics. There is a part of me.
It's real easy with
It's a slippery slope. It's a slip and slide.
It's easy and it's hard not to.
There is a part of me that hopes that this causes a resurgence, not necessarily on the upper end, Viacom 2-nanometer chips or anything like that, but simple stuff like this. These simple little, tiny, tiny 4047 chips and stuff like that are on here. These can very easily be made in a small plant in a small town somewhere, and we could have our own market come back.
Let's see, I'll make 2 more comments on it because Kristen, the conversation you have with Cookie, I've probably had that same conversation. Bless his heart, he's opening his eyes a lot. But him and I definitely are different politically, and that's okay because at least we can talk about it.
And Roberto says he's personally being affected. 2 of his models are Chinese. Are they tariffed now? No, because they are current U.S. inventory. If you are wanting to bring a new model in after these tariffs hit, yes, you will have to pay the tariff fees on getting the new models in. Okay, we just completely threw. I feel very.
Feel dirty now, don't we?
I
feel dirty. I started talking politics. And,
well, that and treating women like objects. Yeah. Okay.
All right. So, having that said, we're going to see you guys next week. I don't have all the calendar stuff. Oh, let me check here. I'll double check. I can get a couple of them. Let's see, where are we? April. Oh, coming up next is Central Missouri Renaissance Festival, April 26th and 27th. Also, for those local here in Wichita, it is the first day of the Pirate Murder Mystery at the photo op on Douglas.
Okay.
And then right after that, the following weekend on May 3rd is the second Pirate Murder Mystery at the photo op on Douglas.
Nice.
Then the weekend after that, May 10th, starts Sleepy Hollow Spring Renaissance Festival and Castle Muskogee. And then that's really all I need to, I guess, bring up for local here. So
I see. I'm trying to see if there was any other things that we had. Oh, GalaxyCon is coming up on the 24th of May.
Yeah, I was trying to list stuff that's like close within 5 hours here.
But very important, May 25th is International Towel Day for all those who are fans of Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy.
Oh, and I will be posting a link at some point because I know some people have asked. I got my Ghostbuster towel that I'll wear at cons.
Mm-hmm.
That's got the embroidery thing people have asked. That is done by, Time Honored Productions out of Wichita. And they are awesome people. They run cons and stuff too. And they are now doing those towels custom. So if you want like a Star Trek one, or if you want whatever, you just tell them what you want on it. They pop it on there, do the color, all that stuff.
No, we should put the link up in the on the ConCast.
I'll have to get it and pop it up. But they even talked about doing a Scallywags ones and all sorts of stuff. They're cool people. So, all right.
I just read Roberto's comment.
Yeah.
You should see the stuff he sends me off chat.
But we were just talking about tariffs in the living room. Gannon and I were just a minute ago, so that comment is funny.
You know it's in the cultural zeitgeist when a 15-year-old athlete is talking about tariffs.
He has. He's been really on it, like, with the news and the tariffs and the, who knew?
Yeah.
Let's pay attention. Wow.
All right. Well, we'll see everybody next week.
Hugs and kisses.
Love you. Bye.